I died on a rainy Tuesday in October, choking on the bitter taste of pills I'd swallowed in a haze of betrayal. My so-called best friend Sarah's laughter echoing in my skull like a final taunt as the world blurred to black. But death wasn't the end. It was a goddamn reset button, slamming me back into my body 3 months earlier. Heart pounding in a body that remembered every cut of the knife she'd twisted. Waking up in my cramped Brooklyn apartment, staring at the same coffee stain on the ceiling, I knew, this time, I wouldn't beg for mercy. I'd carve it out of them, piece by bloody piece, starting with the smiles they thought would bury me. The first thing that hit me wasn't relief, it was rage. Hot and electric, surging through veins that had gone cold in that sterile hotel bathroom. I'd been Peyton Hayes, 28, the ambitious analyst who'd clawed her way from a trailer park in Ohio to a corner office at Apex Ventures, a cutthroat VC firm in Midtown where dreams got funded or shredded on a whim. Sarah Klein, my roommate since college, my ride or die through bad dates and worse bosses, had sold me out for a promotion. And then there was Jake Harlan, the golden boy partner with his Ivy League smirk and promises whispered in the dark, my lover, who watched her plant the evidence that tanked my career, my life. Embezzlement charges, fabricated ledgers, a whistleblower tip straight from her keyboard. They'd mocked me in that final boardroom meeting, Sarah's eyes gleaming as she said, "Peyton, honey, sometimes you just aim too high." I'd aimed high all my life, and they'd pulled the rug out, leaving me plummeting.
Now,
here I was, reborn in July, sweat slicked in my twin bed, the alarm blaring 6:45 a.m. Like nothing had changed. But everything had. I bolted upright, gasping, my hands flying to my throat, no bruises, no phantom ache from the noose I'd improvised in despair. The mirror across the room showed my face, wide green eyes, freckles dusted like gunpowder across my nose, auburn hair tangled from sleep. The same Peyton who'd trusted too easily. I laughed then, a sharp, ugly sound that bounced off the peeling wallpaper. "Fuck you," I whispered to the ghosts in my head. "Your move first?"
no.
Mine. I didn't waste time on tears or what-ifs. By 7:30, I was in the kitchen, brewing coffee strong enough to strip paint, my laptop open on the Formica counter. Apex's internet was still accessible. My badge hadn't been yanked yet. I scrolled through emails, the innocuous ones from Jake. "Dinner tonight? Miss you already."
Lies.
All of it. In my first life, those dinners had been foreplay to my downfall. Sweet nothings masking the plot. Sarah's text popped up next. "Girls' night? Wine and wine." She'd whine about her stalled career while picking my brain for firm secrets, hoarding them like ammo. The secret they'd buried deep? It wasn't just my fabricated theft, it was theirs. Apex wasn't funding startups. It was laundering money for a network of shady real estate developers. Kickbacks funneled through shell companies. I'd stumbled on it accidentally, piecing together discrepancies in a late-night audit. Jake knew. Sarah knew. They'd been skimming for months, using my access to cover tracks. When I got too close, sniffing around a suspicious wire transfer to a Cayman account, they flipped the script, planted malware on my machine, rerouted funds through my logins. The board bought it hook, line, and sinker because Jake's daddy was a senator. Untouchable. In this life, I'd play dumb. Let them think I was the same eager beaver, blind to the wolves. But I'd document everything, screenshots, timestamps, backups on an encrypted drive hidden in the cloud. No dramatic confrontations yet. Revenge wasn't a sprint. It was a marathon of quiet cuts, the kind that festered. By 9 a.m., I was on the subway to Manhattan, the L train rattling like my nerves, commuters packed sardine-tight under the fluorescent buzz. New York in summer was a beast, humid air thick with exhaust and ambition, street vendors hawking iced coffees to the suits streaming toward Wall Street. I emerged at 34th Street, the Empire State Building looming like a middle finger to the sky, and hoofed it to Apex's glass tower on 6th Avenue. The lobby was a cathedral of marble and ego, security nodding me through with a barcode scan. Elevator up to the 42nd floor, and there it was, the bullpen of analysts. Phones chirping, screens glowing with spreadsheets that hid more sins than a confessional. Sarah was at her desk first, as always, blonde bob impeccable, typing away in a sheath dress that screamed future exec. She spotted me and waved, all teeth and faux warmth.
Pay.
You're early. Rough night. Her voice was honey over gravel, the same tone she'd used to console me after my mistake in the first timeline. I forced a yawn, slinging my bag over the shoulder. Just the heat. You?
Same.
Jake's got us on that sterling deal today, big fish. She leaned in, conspiratorial. Sterling Properties, the front for the laundering. Over-leveraged condos in Queens that existed mostly on paper. In my old life, I'd flagged the irregularities, earning their ire.
Now?
I'd nod and smile. Sounds juicy, I said, settling into my cube. Juicy enough to drown you both. The morning blurred into data dives, coffee runs, the hum of printers spitting out NDAs. Jake sauntered in at 10:30, all 6'2" of him in a bespoke suit.
Hair gelled just so.
He paused at my desk, hand brushing my shoulder, a touch that once ignited me, now felt like acid. Hey, beautiful. Lunch later. In the first life, I'd said yes. Every time. Today, swamped, but rain check. His brow furrowed. Just a flicker. But I caught it. Good. Let the doubt creep in. By noon, the team meeting in the conference room, Jake at the head, Sarah to his right, me across, flanked by drones like Tim and Lena. Projections on the screen, Sterling's growth charts, inflated like a junkie's veins. Jake droned about synergies, his eyes lingering on Sarah a beat too long. She'd been sleeping with him for weeks by now. I remembered the lipstick stains on his collar, the late client dinners. When he called on me for the risk assessment, I paused, forkful of salad halfway to my mouth. Everyone leaned in. Peyton? Thoughts? I set down the fork.
Slow.
The debt-to-equity ratio's off. Sterling's borrowing against assets that, well, they're ghosts. If the market dips, we're exposed. Murmurs rippled. Sarah shot me a look, warning wrapped in confusion. Jake chuckled.
Easy.
Always the cautious one. But that's why we love you. Keeps us sharp.
Love.
The word twisted in my gut. I smiled back, thin as a razor. Just doing my job. Lunch was a solo falafel from the cart outside, eaten on a bench in Bryant Park. Tourists snapping selfies amid the bustle. I pulled out my phone. Anonymous burner app installed last night in my amnesia haze. A quick search, public records on Sterling's owners. Cross-referenced with Apex filings. Threads began to weave, shell core linking to Jake's frat brother in D.C. Sarah's daddy's law firm in Jersey. The web was vast. Sticky. I'd tug gently at first. Watch them squirm. Afternoon brought the first real test, Sarah cornering me in the ladies' room. Mirrors fogged from the AC. What was that in there? You're not gunning for my spot. Are you? Her laugh was forced, eyes hard. I washed my hands, met her gaze in the reflection.
Nah.
Just facts. You know me, paranoid. She relaxed. A fraction. But I saw the calculation. How to neutralize the threat. Paranoid's good sometimes, she said, reapplying gloss. But don't rock the boat too hard. Jake's sensitive about Sterling. Sensitive. Like a bomb with a short fuse. I nodded, drying my hands. Noted. Back at my desk, I fired off an email to the compliance officer, CC'd to Jake. Casual as hell. Quick flag on Sterling docs, page 47. Discrepancy in transfer logs. FYI. No accusations. Just a nudge. Let the audit trail start without my fingerprints. By 6 p.m., the office thinned. Stragglers heading to happy hours. Jake texted, "Drinks? Come on. Don't leave me hanging." I typed back, "Family call. Rain check for real."
Lie.
But it stung him. He hated my small-town ties. Sarah pinged next, "Girls' night still on?" "Tomorrow," I replied. Tonight was for me. I cabbed back to Brooklyn, the city lights smearing like accusations. My apartment was a shoebox, exposed brick, thrift store couch, posters of Yosemite I'd never afford to visit. But it was mine, untainted. I poured a glass of cheap Merlot, booted the laptop, and dove deep. Forums on white-collar crime, tutorials on forensic accounting. Knowledge was my new lover, cold and reliable. Sleep came fitful, dreams laced with echoes, the boardroom jeers, the pill bottle rattling. Jake's voice, she cracked under pressure. I woke at 3 a.m., pulse racing, and started typing, a timeline of their affair, cross-referenced with server logs I'd mirrored before death. Sarah's logins spiking after hours. Jake's calendar blocks for strategy sessions.
Petty?
Maybe. But pettiness built empires, or toppled them. Day 2 dawned muggy. Thunder rumbling over the East River. Subway again. Sardined with the weary. At Apex, buzz was off, whispers about an internal review. My email had landed, ripples spreading. Sarah avoided my eyes, buried in calls. Jake pulled me into his office mid-morning. Door clicked shut. "Peyton," he started, leaning on his desk. All charm dialed to 11. "That note you sent, bit of a stir." "You sure it's not a glitch?" I met his blue eyes, the ones that had lied so prettily. "Glitch?
Nah.
Just numbers not adding up." "You want me to dig deeper?" He hesitated, then waved it off. "No. No. I'll handle."
Hey.
"About last night. Busy." I cut in.
Standing.
"But thanks." I walked out, spine straight, leaving him staring. The rest of the week blurred into calculated chaos. I fed tips anonymously to a SEC tip line, vague enough to evade blowback, sharp enough to draw blood. Sterling stock dipped 2% on a vague regulatory inquiry rumor, courtesy of a planted article on a finance blog. Sarah's promotion stalled. She cornered me again. Voice low. "If you're playing games,
Pay."
it's not funny." I blinked. Innocent. "Games? I'm just crunching data." Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Watch yourself. I did. Watched as Jake grew distant, their stolen glances turning frantic. Watched the cracks spiderweb. By week's end, I was invited to a team-building retreat, Hamptons weekend. All expenses paid. In the first life, it had been the trap, drunken confessions recorded. My instability documented. This time, I'd go. Smile. And slip the noose around their necks. The drive out was a convoy of Ubers. Laughter forced over pop music. Sarah rode with me, chattering about beach volleyball. Her tension coiled like a spring. Jake's been weird. Stressed. Poor baby, I murmured, staring out at the pines blurring by. Must be the pressure. The house was a monstrosity, shingled McMansion on Further Lane. Infinity pool kissing the Atlantic. Tequila shots by sunset. Bonfire stories under stars that felt too pure for the poison in my veins. Jake pulled me aside during Esmores. Breath boozy. Missed you this week. What's up? I let him kiss me. Brief. Tasting regret. Just focused. You know how it is. He grinned, pulling closer.
Yeah.
But we make a good team. You and me.
We did. Once. Now?
I'd dismantle it brick by brick. That night, in my guest room, I hacked the house Wi-Fi, simple password, Apex rules. Sarah's phone synced backups. Voila. Text to Jake. She's onto Sterling. We need to move faster. Proof.
Timestamped.
Morning brought yoga on the dunes. Then a trustful exercise, irony thick as the salt air. Sarah caught me. Her grip too tight. Got you, she hissed. I whispered back. Not forever. Back in the city Sunday night. The city's pulse matched my own, frenzied. Unforgiving. Apex hit a snag. Sterling pulled funding, citing compliance concerns. Jake called an all-hands. Face thunderous. Someone's talking. We lock it down. Eyes swiveled. To me?
No. To the new guy. Tim.
Who stammered denials. I sat quiet. The ghost in the machine. Post-meeting. Sarah slammed into my cube. This you're doing? I looked up.
Slow.
Why would I? Because you're pissed I got the nod for lead analyst. There it was, the promotion she'd stolen in my first life. After my fall. I leaned back. Congrats. By the way. You deserve it. She faltered. Then stormed off. Jake watched from his glass office. Jaw tight. That night, alone with takeout lo mein, I escalated. Anonymous email to Jake's wife. Yes. He had won. Trophy in Connecticut. Oblivious. Attached. Select texts. Nothing illegal.
Just damning.
Thought you should know. By morning, his ringtone was nonstop. He canceled the 9 a.m. Hold up. Sarah texted me. What the hell is happening? I replied. Karma? The boardroom showdown came Friday. Storm clouds boiling over the Hudson. Jake presented revised Sterling projections, slimmed down. Desperate. Sarah flanked him. Notes trembling. When Q&A hit, I raised my hand. Peyton. His voice cracked. Just a hair. The revisions. They're band-aids. The core issues, the offshore transfers. Who's signing off on those? Silence.
Thick.
A board member, silver fox in pinstripes, leaned forward. What transfers? I laid it out. Calm as a surgeon. Dates. Amounts. Account numbers I'd memorized in hell. Not accusing, just facts.
Jake blanched.
Sarah's pen snapped. Peyton, this is inappropriate, Jake sputtered. Is it? The board chair. Emmis. Vargas. A shark in pearls. Fixed him. Elaborate. Emmis. Hayes. I did. 20 minutes of dissection. Their empire unraveling in real time. Gasps. Calls for auditors. Jake's phone buzzed his wife. No doubt. Sarah bolted mid-sentence. Heels clacking to the bathroom. By end of day. Suspensions pending. I walked out at 5 sharp. Into a downpour that washed the city clean. My phone lit up. Jake's number. I let it ring. Rain mingling with the first real smile in months. But revenge? It hollowed you out. Back home. Soaked. I poured whiskey neat. Toasting the mirror. One down. Little did I know. The twist waited in the shadows, the secret deeper than money. Bloodier than betrayal. Sarah wasn't just a thief. She was family. My half-sister. Hidden by our mother's lies. Driven by a grudge older than us both. The fallout hit like a nor'easter. Winds howling off the Atlantic, battering the coast of my conscience. Monday morning. Apex was a ghost town, cops in the lobby. Suits with briefcases that screamed forensic, baristas at the corner Starbucks whispering about white-collar apocalypse. I breezed past. Badge swiped. Straight to my desk. No email from HR yet. The higher-ups were circling wagons, figuring who'd take the fall.
Me?
I was the canary, singing sweet nothings while the gas leaked. My inbox overflowed, frantic pings from colleagues bailing ship. LinkedIn invites from headhunters smelling blood. But the gem? A forwarded memo from compliance. Blind CC, Jake and Sarah, relieved of duties pending investigation. Relieved. Like a toothache yanked free. I printed it. Folded neat. Tucked into my planner. Souvenirs for the pyre. Sarah called at 10:17. Voice a wreck over voicemail. Peyton, we need to talk. Coffee? Please. Desperation dripped like the sweat beating my neck in the nonstop AC. In the first life, I'd ignored calls like this. Spiraling alone.
Now?
I'd reel her in. Starbucks on 53rd, I texted back. Noon. The place was a zoo, laptops clacking. Baristas yelling orders over the hiss of steam. She arrived late. Mascara smudged. Raincoat dripping. No bobbed perfection today. Hair frizzed. Eyes red-rimmed. She spotted me in the corner booth. Hesitated. Then slid in, clutching a latte like a shield. Hey, she started. Voice wobbly. What you did Friday? Why? I stirred my black coffee. Slow circles. Why? You tell me. She blinked. Confusion cracking. I don't. The ledgers. The plants. Sterling. I leaned in. Voice low. I know.
Sarah.
All of it. Her face drained. Porcelain to ash.
How?
Doesn't matter. It did. I'd seen the endgame. Felt the noose. You and Jake. The money. My job as bait. She crumpled. Tears spilling. It wasn't like that. He made me. Pressured. I was scared.
Pay.
We go way back. Way back. College dorms. All-nighters cramming for finals. Her stealing my notes, then acing the curve. I'd chalked it up to luck.
Now, pattern.
Scared enough to frame me? To watch me crash. Not crash.
Just.
Sideline. She wiped her nose. Sleeve sodden. Jake said it'd be temporary. A slap on the wrist. Then we'd split the pot. You were too good. Too close. He was paranoid you'd blow it. Paranoid. The word echoed. My own from the grave. I sipped. Bitter. And the mockery? The boardroom laughs. She flinched. That was him.
Show.
To sell it. Lie. Her giggle had been sharpest. Knife in my ribs. We sat. Steam curling between us like unspoken indictments.
Outside.
Taxis honked. Umbrellas bloomed black against the gray. What now? She whispered. They're coming for us. Good, I said. Flat. Maybe you'll finally pay. Her hand shot out, grabbing mine clammy, desperate. Help me.
Us.
You're my best friend. Best friend. The words ignited something feral. I pulled free.
Slow.
Was I, when you texted him after sex, calling me the mark? When you deleted my files, one by one? She recoiled. You saw that. Everything. Bluff. Half, cloud backups from before the wipe. But her flinch confirmed. Please. Peyton. Family sticks. Family. The word hung. Heavy. I stood, tossing a 5 on the table. Not anymore. Back at Apex. The vulture circled. Vargas summoned me to her corner office. Views of Central Park. Leather chairs that swallowed you whole. She was 50 steel, salt and pepper bob. Brooch like a badge. MS.
Haze. Sit.
I did. Spine ramrod. Your report Friday was illuminating. She steepled fingers. Care to expand? Off record. Off record in a firm like this?
Cute.
I nodded. Reciting the web. Transfers to Oceanview LLC. Jake's signature buried in legalese. Sarah's approvals rubber-stamped. I omitted the personal, the affair, the betrayal. Let the feds connect dots. Vargas's eyes narrowed. And you? Clean? As a whistle. Half-truth. I'd skimmed a bonus once. Petty cash for mom's chemo. Water under the bridge. She hummed.
Good.
We need players like you. Interim lead on Sterling cleanup, double pay. Through the storm. Promotion? The irony burned sweet. Honored. Prove it. She slid a folder across redacted emails. Jake's to Sarah. Hayes is out. Make it stick. My blood chilled. But I schooled neutral. Will do. Afternoon was power plays. Calls to Sterling brass. Soothing egos with promises of audits. Tim. The patsy. Quit by 3. LinkedIn updated to seeking opportunities. Lena cornered me in the break room. Eyes wide. You okay? After. Everything. Fine. I lied. Vending a Snickers. Just work. She nodded. Awkward. Heard Sarah's ghosting everyone. Jake too. Good riddance. Evening brought Jake's ambush, lobby. 7 p.m. As thunder cracked. He looked wrecked, tie loose. Stubble shadowing that jaw. Peyton. Wait. I paused. Umbrella popping. What? Talk. For old times. Old times, rooftop bars. His hand in mine. Dreams of partnership.
Lies. No.
He stepped close, rain sheeting off his coat. I fucked up. Bad. But us was real.
Us.
I laughed.
Sharp.
You mean the parts you didn't sell? His face twisted. Guilt? Or calculation? Sarah pushed.
She's obsessed.
With the life. The money. I got weak.
Weak.
The man who'd charmed senators. Closed billion-dollar deals. Cry me a river. Please. Voice broke. I love you.
Love.
The hook that gutted me once. I stepped into the rain, close enough to smell his cologne, sandalwood and deceit. You loved ruining me. He grabbed my arm, gentle,
Pleading. Fix this. Testify.
say it was a mistake. I wrenched free, eyes locked.
No.
Watch it burn. I left him there, soaked and small, hail mixing with the downpour.
Cab home.
City lights fracturing through wet glass. Whiskey again. But this time with a twist. A pregnancy test. Negative. In the first life, despair had whispered doubts. What if?
Now.
Clarity, no chains. Just freedom edged in fury. Tuesday escalated. News hit. DOJ probe into Apex. Leaks pointing fingers at senior partners. Jake's wife's lawyer filed for divorce. Alimony demands splashed on page 6. Sarah? Vanished, phone dead. Socials dark. I fielded calls from reporters. No comment. Stonewall Pro. Vargas promoted me official by lunch, glass office.
Corner view.
Earned it, she said. Handshake firm. But the secret nod. That night, digging deeper, genealogy sites. Mom's old letters I'd burned after her funeral. Sarah Klein? Birth cert. Klein Hayes. Father's name redacted. Half-sister. Mom's affair with Sarah's dad. A Jersey Politico. A hush to protect the good family. Sarah had known, texted Jake. She took everything from Dad. Now we take from her.
Blood.
The betrayal cut cellular. I'd trusted kin.
Blind.
Wednesday. I drove to Jersey. Rental Hyundai. Wipers slapping. Sarah's childhood home. Split level in Edison. For sale sign crooked. Neighbors gossiped. Poor girl. Scandal. Dad's firm tanking too. Her dad, Victor Klein, opened the door at 2 p.m. Rumpled in a polo. Eyes like Sarah's, calculating. Hayes, what the? Family reunion, I said, pushing past. Living room, faded plaid. Family photos, Sarah beaming. Me absent. He blustered.
Out. Or primer call cops.
I dropped the folder, birth cert photocopy. Emails chaining back to him. Kickbacks from Sterling. Funneled through Apex. Your daughter's mess. Yours too. He sank into the recliner. Deflating.
How?
Doesn't matter. Fix it, or I send to feds with the sister angle. Juicy. He stared. Then, what do you want? Truth. I sat across, unblinking. Why hide her?
Us.
Mom's voice. Frail on her deathbed. Keep it buried.
Pay.
For you. Protection? Or shame? Victor sighed. Your ma. Affair. I was married. She got pregnant, Sarah. Wanted out. But I paid her off. Silence. Paid off. My childhood scraping by. Mom waitressing doubles. You stole her life. Business.
Cold.
Sarah grew up knowing. Hated you for it, the golden child who got away. Hated. The word landed like a slap. I stood. Tell her. End it. Or I do. Back in Brooklyn. Storm spent. I crashed hard, dreams of mom. Young and laughing. Morphing to Sarah's sneer. Woke to a text, unknown number.
Meet.
Midnight.
Bridge.
S. Sarah. The prodigal. I went. Glock in my purse, legal carry. Ohio roots. Brooklyn Bridge at witching hour. Fog rolling off the water. Towers ghosted in sodium glow. She waited midspan. Wind whipping her coat. Face gaunt. You came, she said. Voice raw. Curious. She laughed. Brittle. Family? Right? Victor spilled. I nodded. Hands in pockets. Why? Everything you had. Mom's love.
The drive.
I got scraps. Then Jake. He saw potential. In us. Together. Together? Spit the word. You used me. Payback. Eyes wild. For her leaving us. Her mom. The grudge generational. Festering.
She didn't leave.
He trapped her. Lies. She lunged. Not violent, hug. Desperate. Help me fix this. Please. I stiffened. Then, pulled the drive from my pocket, all evidence. Copied. Take it. Run. She snatched. Eyes wide. Why? Because blood's thicker.
Lie.
I tracked it. Remote wipe in 30 minutes. She fled. Heels echoing. I watched the East River churn below. Dark and hungry. Wipe triggered. Data gone. Her out. But Jake? He waited in the wings. Scheming still. The real storm brewed. The probe intensified like a fever. Sweat beading on the city's brow as indictments loomed. By Thursday, Apex was hemorrhaging, clients jumping ship, stock plummeting 15% on open. My office, once a fishbowl, now a bunker, blinds drawn.
Phone on Do Not Disturb.
Reporters camp the lobby, flashing badges like vultures' beaks. I slipped out the service exit, hoodie up, into the alley stink of garbage and ambition's rot. Vargas called me up at noon, her office. Door sealed. Feds tomorrow. Testimony. I nodded,
Perched on the edge of the chair.
full disclosure. She eyed me.
Sharp.
Jake's lawyered up. Claims you fabricated, jealous lover angle. Jealous. The spin twisted fresh. Let him. Smart. She tapped a pen. Post this. VP slot's yours. Rebuild. VP. The rung I dreamed of. Now tasting ash.
Deal.
But dreams soured. That night. Anonymous package at my door. Manila envelope. No return. Inside. Photos me and Jake. Blurred hotel lobbies. Printouts of my embezzlement from the first timeline. Forged but convincing. Note. Back off. Or this goes viral.
Jake.
Desperate. Cornered. I burned it in the sink. Flames licking blue. Smoke acrid. He wanted war? I'd bring napalm. Friday dawned crisp. Autumn nipping the air. Federal building on Foley Square. Stone facade. Flags limp in the still. I arrived early. Suit pressed. Hair pinned. armor. Agent Ruiz, mid-40s Latina, with a handshake like iron, met me in a conference room smelling of stale coffee and justice. MS.
Haze.
Walk us through. I did. Timelines. Docs. The affair as motive. Omitted the rebirth. Crazy talk. Ruiz nodded, jotting. Harlan and Klein deny. Say you're unstable. Unstable. The word clawed old wounds. Check the logs. We are. She leaned back. Klein's ghosted. Harlan's in holding obstruction. Satisfaction bloomed. Dark rose.
Good. Outside.
Post statement. My phone buzzed. Lena. Peyton, Sarah's place.
Now.
Something's wrong. Jersey again. Traffic a snarl on the turnpike. Sarah's apartment. Walk up in Newark. Buzzer dead. Door ajar, pry with my shoulder. Creak like a scream. Inside, chaos. Drawers yanked. Papers strewn. Laptop smashed on the floor. Sarah on the couch. Wrists bound zip ties. Gag biting her mouth. Bruises blooming on her cheek. Eyes swelling shut. I rushed. Knife from kitchen, careful slice. She gasped, collapsing into me.
Sobs racking. They.
Jake's guys. Wanted the drive.
Gone.
My trap sprung wrong.
Who?
Freelancers. Developers from Sterling.
Said.
Payback. I untied the rest. Phone dialing 911. Stay with me. Cops swarmed. Questions firing. Relationship. Enemies. I stonewalled personal. Fed the probe angle. Ambulance wailed her away. Concussion. Cracked rib. I followed to the ER. Fluorescent hell of beeps and bleach. She gripped my hand in the bay. For dripping. Sorry. For everything. Words I'd craved in death. Save it.
No.
Voice hoarse. Truth, Mom told me. Before she died. About us. I hated her for leaving. Then you. By proxy.
Proxy.
The sins of fathers. Mothers. Let it go. Cops looped me in. Jake bailed. Vanished. Flight to Cayman logged. Then scrubbed.
Hunt on.
Saturday. I hold up. Burner phone pings from Ruiz. Klein's cooperating. Harlan's cornered. Good. But the controversial brood. My decisions. Leaked to TMZ? Jake's senator dad. Smeared in bed with a lobbyist, photo I'd found in his desk. Morally gray? Hell yes. Legal?
Borderline.
I hit send. Anonymous. By evening. Headline screamed, VC scandal rocks DC. Harlan heir in sex tape leak. Twitter, X now, exploded. Apex Gate trending. Memes of Jake as a cartoon wolf. Bitter? They choked on it. Sunday brunch with Lena, her treat. Soho Cafe. Avocado toast and mimosas. You're a badass, she said. Clinking glasses.
But.
You okay? After Sarah? Family. The word stuck.
Thorn.
Getting there. She squeezed my arm. Rebuild. With us.
Us.
The firm. The city. Anchors or chains. I smiled. Fragile. Monday reset. Apex shuttered temporary. Remote work mandate. My laptop hummed with rebuild plans, clean slate. Ethical funds only. But Jake haunted. Texts from burners. You win. But it's not over. Over? I'd make it biblical. Midweek. Tip from Ruiz. Jake hold in a Queens motel. Laurent dive off the 7 train. Stakeout? Vigilante shit. Controversial as fuck. But the rage, reborn fire demanded. I drove. Rental again. Parked in shadows. 2 a.m. Rain sheeting. He emerged, duffel slung, glancing like a rat. I followed, wipers thumping heartbeats. To a warehouse district, chain link rattling. Inside, sterling goons, 3 burly in coveralls, arguing payoffs. Jake's voice. Muffled, she ratted. We flip it, blame her. Her, me. The frame. Reloaded. I circled. Phone recording through cracked window. Voices clear, bribes. Threats. My name in curses. Climax crashed, sirens wail. Ruiz's team.
Tipped by me.
Doors burst. Shouts. Jake tackled mid-sentence. Cuffs clicked. His eyes locking on my silhouette outside, recognition. Horror. You, he snarled as they dragged him. Me, I whispered.
Gone by dawn.
Back home. Whiskey neat. The high crashed. Victory?
Pyrrhic.
Sarah texted from hospital. Thanks. For saving. Blood called.
Despite.
But the twist uncoiled slow. A letter. Slipped under door next morning. Mom's handwriting. Faded. Peyton, if you read this. It's bad. Sarah's your sister. Protect her. I couldn't.
Protect.
The choice I'd made. Wipe the drive. Leave her exposed. Guilt gnawed. Controversial core. Revenge or redemption. I drove to the hospital. Rain-slick roads. Sarah. Bandaged. Eyes wary. What now? Forgive. I asked. Voice small. She nodded.
Tears.
Try. The indictments dropped like guillotines, severing heads from the hydra of Apex's sins. By December, headlines cannibalized each other. Harlan pleads guilty. 15 years for fraud. Photos of him in orange.
Gaunt.
That smirk shattered. Sarah turned state's evidence. Deal for time served. Community service in a Jersey soup kitchen. Victor Klein?
Disbarred.
Estate auctioned. Sterling crumbled. Condos foreclosed. Leaving ghosts of luxury in the dust.
Me?
VP Hayes. The Phoenix in pencil skirts. Rebuilt Apex into Vanguard equity. Ethical digs. Women-led funds. TED Talks on resilience in ruins. Board seats beckoned. Forbes 30 under 30 whispers. New York swallowed me whole. Galas at the Met. Power lunches at Le Bernardin. A loft in Chelsea with skyline views that mocked the past. But success chafed. Ill-fitting suit. Lena became real friend. Then more, quiet dinners. Her laugh, thawing the ice in my chest. You're different now, she said one night. Tangled in sheets. City hum outside. Stronger. Reborn. I wanted to say. Instead, just wiser. Sarah, we tried. Awkward coffees. Therapy sessions in neutral Midtown DR. Elena. Soft-spoken with a notepad like a shield. Betrayal's a cycle, she'd say, as we unpacked Mom's ghost. Sarah softened. Edges sanded. I envied you. The fire.
Fire.
The one that consumed, then forged. We both burned. Holidays hit hard. First without Mom, Echoes of her pecan pie in Ohio diners. I flew home. Trailer park same. Chain link fences. Kids on bikes dodging potholes. Aunt Rita hugged tight. Proud.
Girl.
Made it.
Made it?
The word hollowed. Back in the city. New Year's Eve. Ball drop in Times Square. But I watched from my roof. Champagne fizzing alone. Fireworks bloomed. Resolutions whispered to the wind. Let go? Twist came in February. Subpoena chill. Jake's appeal. Alleging coercion by me. Tapes. Claims of blackmail. Lies. But his lawyers spun gold. Scorned lover. Vigilante. Media frenzy reignited. Whistleblower or witch hunt. Vargas lawyered me up. But doubt crept. Controversial decisions boomeranging. The leak to TMZ? Traced. Barely. My anonymous tips? Fingerprints faint. Trial loomed. Spring thaw mocking the freeze in my gut. Sarah called.
Testify.
Truth wins.
Truth.
The one-eyed bent. Reborn rage blinding. Courtroom in Foley Square again. Wood paneled. AC humming like judgment. Jake on the stand. Shackled subtle. Eyes locking mine across the gallery. She orchestrated it, he testified. Voice steady. Revenge for the affair. Fabricated evidence. Gasps rippled. My lawyer objected, sustained, but damage seeped. My turn, under oath. Lights harsh. Lies, I said.
Calm.
He framed me first. Logs prove. A cross-exam, his attorney, slick as oil. MS.
Haze.
Your rapid rise, suspicious.
No.
And the personal vendetta? I met his gaze. Vendetta? For betrayal?
Yes.
But facts don't lie. Jury deliberated 2 days, eternity in purgatory. Lena held vigil. Hand in mine, you did right.
Right.
The gray blurred. Verdict, guilty. Upheld. Jake's appeal crushed. Sentence maxed.
Outside.
Flashbulbs popped. Mics thrust. Vindication, they shouted. Justice, I murmured. Slipping away. But the real end?
Quiet. In May.
Mom's letter. Full read. Protect Sarah. And yourself. Don't let hate win.
Hate.
The engine of my return. I met Sarah at Mom's grave, Ohio plot. Grass greening. We stood. Wind whispering pines. Forgiven, she asked.
Tentative.
Forgiving, I corrected. Takes time. She nodded. Start a firm? Together? Controversial? Hell yes, blood and business. But redemption's edge gleamed. Maybe. Back in New York. Lena proposed over rooftop barbecue, ring simple. Her on one knee. Build with me? I said yes. Tears hot. Rebirth wasn't just revenge, it was rewrite. Years blurred. Vanguard soared. Sarah my COO, wary trust.
But trust.
Jake faded. Prison whispers. Mom's voice. Finally peace. One night. Storm raging like that July dawn. I woke gasping. Echo of death. Pills dissolving. But Lena stirred. Arm heavy. Here. Here. The life reclaimed. Scars badges. I died own. Betrayed deep. Returned fierce. And in the quiet after thunder, I was whole. Broke no one but the chains. Bitter taste gone. Speechless only at grace.